the other weekend, we got to go to Schuba's or Lincoln Hall, whichever you prefer to see it as, in Chicago, downtown Chicago, and we saw Early Eyes, which was a band that I had suggested an album of theirs to you a couple months ago. And when I found out that they were going on tour and tickets were only $18, I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. So we went to go see Early Eyes in support of their Look Alive album that came out in 2022. And it was a snowy day. It was bad on the roads, but the actual venue itself, very cool. They had a couple of openers that we listened to.
Corn on My Dinner Plate. Which
Corn on My Dinner
actually
Plate.
was probably my favorite act of that day.
Really?
Yeah, I think I liked them better than Early Eyes.
Wow. And then the other act, I forget their name. It was an interesting lineup because Corn on My Dinner Plate opened, which I didn't think would happen because the third artist, I'm gonna be annoyed if I don't remember their name. But yeah, let's talk about Corn on their Dinner Plate because they were the first ones that opened anyway.
I think they were so well mixed, and honestly, I kind of wanted to buy their album, but I didn't know how much they played. Plus, it was $15. Plus, it's 25 minutes long, so I was just ugh.
HUHROON, that's the other artist. Yeah, so Corn on My Dinner Plate, they were very cool. It reminded me of 70s dad rock, but not Kansas dad rock, the other side of it where it's very slow jammy. And I showed you a band called Bread at the end of the night, just before I dropped you off, and that's what I sort of think it reminds me of very slow love songs. But they had a really tight group dynamic. You could actually hear the keys, and when the key player did a solo, it was really sick. And I think the main difference between Corn on My Dinner Plate and Early Eyes is that Early Eyes, they definitely used a lot more tracks, but they were definitely more rehearsed, right? And I think that's the thing with touring bands is a lot of times you play what's on the album and then you add a little something at the end of the song, or you add a solo section or whatever. But with Corn on My Dinner Plate, a lot of it definitely felt very improvisational. It was very chill. It was very relaxed. But they were super tight. Yeah, and they opened up the night. HUHROON went on second, which was a little confusing because from the look of HUHROON's Spotify page, not only do they have significantly less listeners per month than Corn on My Dinner Plate, but it also just looked like one person. So I thought HUHROON was going to use backing tracks and open and play first. But no, they went on second, and they have more people in the band, and the bassist from Early Eyes was playing bass for HUHROON, which was cool, but all but confirmed a theory I had going into the show that HUHROON was only on the bill because they had a friend, in another band that was like, oh yeah, you can come with us.
Yeah.
We need someone to open for us. And I think it was the bassist. So, I think their name, Megan, was it? I can't remember. I can't remember. Something with an M. But anyway, I thought the band made the energy on the stage. It looked really fun to be up there just playing that kind of music. It was a rap, alternative rap, hip hop group. And the drummer, but there were no backing tracks. So the drummer was playing what would amount to an electronic beat on a physical drum set, an acoustic drum set, and it sounded really cool. Obviously the bass player was playing really well, and they looked like they were having more fun playing with HUHROON than they did playing with Early Eyes, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, and there was a little bit of like screaming too, and they invited a guest on for the last song for like
it was just even louder than normal. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and we brought earplugs, but I don't think I really put them in the entire night.
No.
Because it was a nice room. It was kind of small, but it had small speakers up, like house speakers up closer to the stage, and I don't think there were any other speakers in the room. But there was still a soundboard in the back and a sound guy, and yeah, so it was a cool opening to the night. But by the time we got to Early Eyes getting on stage, you were already tired, and you had to wake up really early the next day.
Dude, fuck. Yeah, by the time they hit the stage, that's like when I go to sleep. So I was fucking like out of it so hard. Plus the fucking drummer ran into me trying to get to the stage. Dick.
Yeah, it seemed like the drummer was pretty stressed out during the set because, yeah,
yeah, because we didn't get it back to my place till like midnight, and I was just fucking dead. I was so dead.
Yeah, the actual show itself started at 8 p.m. and the doors opened at 7:30. So I don't know if that's standard to go from like 8 to 11 p.m. at Schuba's. Comment below. Let us know if you've ever been to Schuba's. If that's the case.
But yeah, I was annoyed because they didn't play the one song I wanted to hear. But it's fine because I did recognize a couple others, and that was all fine and dandy.
Right.
But man, it's the fucking worst. It's like when you have one song. Yeah. It's not that it was like a deep cut or anything like that.
Yeah, it was off the new album, and it was one of the first tracks on the album. So I thought it was a single. So I thought they would have played it.
What the fuck, man? Whatever.
Yeah. So, but I thought Early Eyes was super tight. They had a couple of really cool band moments where they played one of their songs in double time for a little bit at the end, and that was really cool. The guitarist went nuts. The drummer looked like he was having a lot of fun when he wasn't stressed out. Yeah, and the singer had a couple of cool like vocal processing things, like pedals. Up on their the keyboard up on stage, so they were able to replicate, even without using a lot of backing tracks. They were able to replicate a lot of sounds on the new album, which is mostly electronic, I would say, compared to the older stuff, which is very like jazzy and acoustic and not even necessarily chill, but it's very. It feels like it's on a much smaller scale than their new album, because the new album has like octave drops in the vocals and crazy pedal effects throughout the whole thing. But yeah, and then they got to the end of the set and they played one deep cut, and then the last song that they played, I forget what the last song of the night was. But yeah, Halloween 18 was a highlight for me. I really liked them. I think that was the one where they added the double time at the end. Dying Plant was really good. I guess they had the rhythm guitarist sing on that one. That was fun. There was a mosh pit for a couple of songs, which why are you rolling your eyes?
Because they could be kind of stupid. That is not a moshing band.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't really breakdowns in an Early Eyes set. Yeah, nor would I say are there like face melting guitar solos, but there are definitely really intricate guitar solos. Like I can tell that these band members, they have a background in like music school. Like there's a lot of theory involved. There's a lot of, you know, like listening to Wolfpack and listening to Jacob Collier and like getting all of these cool ideas and inspirations. Wolfpack.
I love Wolfpack, man. Best band from the 80s. Rock on the Edge of Love, baby. One Way Ticket to Lovin'. Good ass stuff.
You gonna keep going?
No, I don't remember the other songs.
That's fair.
Howlin' My Love from the Rooftops, I think that was another one. How
dare you?
From the hit album Enter the Leather Den.
What? Why are you continuing to remember more songs even after just saying that you didn't remember any songs?
Because I just remembered more.
I guess that makes sense. So, overall, I think it was a pretty good night. I don't think any of these $18 shows are going to hold a candle up to Origami Angel. I think that's, as far as local shows go, or shows in that price range, Origami Angel is going to be pretty high up there. As far as the vibe of the crowd and the overall night. But I think Early Eyes was pretty damn good. Corn on my dinner plate. Great job, guys. HUHROON, excellent effort. I am gonna keep an eye. I think I'm gonna end up listening to your music as you release it later on, regardless, because you're gonna pop up in my new releases playlist on Spotify. But yeah, man. So if Early Eyes went back on tour, we might not go, but if Corn on my dinner plate goes on tour,
I might go.
All right, well said.